Guess who's back? Booty Boss Lady Tara Anderson's back. Did you miss me? I know you did. It has probably been about 2 years since we did a video, and tonight I want to make, it's New Year's Eve, and I want to make a special Filipino dessert. It's called Ginataan. That's right, let me do it slowly. Ginataan. So I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I got some Filipino blood in here. I got some Japanese blood in here. That's from my mom. My dad, all American white boy, right? Met my mom in Okinawa. The rest is history. But my growing up, one of the Filipino dishes that my mom would make is called Ginataan. And you know, I like to bake and I love to cook. And so I asked her one time for the recipe because my daughter likes this dessert and I wanted to make it without my mom. My mom was at home, not here. And she's like, oh, I don't know. I just put this and I just put that and I don't measure it. And I was like, what kind of recipe is that? And I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because every time she makes it, it tastes just a little bit different. And so the next time she made it, I said, the next time you make it, you better, I want to be present. And so I made her make it one time when we were in person, and as she's doing it, I'm writing the recipe for her. And now we have it down to a T, and it's absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoy it. So here we go. So a lot of these ingredients, you'll have to go to like an Asian market to get a bunch of these because it is a Filipino dish, it's an Asian dish, right? So you'll need 1 purple potato, and this is like one of the easiest desserts that you can make. I know, and you're wondering, purple potato in a dessert? Yes, don't knock it till you try it because it's delicious. So we're gonna take 1 purple potato, you're gonna peel it, and then we're gonna cut it up. I have successfully peeled my purple potato, and now we're just gonna cut it into cube-sized pieces. I like to cut off the edges first. The purple potato is so beautiful. Look at that, look how pretty that is. You're just gonna cut it up into cubes, and then you're just gonna throw it all in the pan. You're gonna get like a soup pan. The purple potato gives it a beautiful purple color to the dessert, and the dessert is kind of like it's the consistency of like a thick soup, maybe? I know, and you're like, purple potato, thick soup, doesn't sound like a dessert to me. It is a dessert and it's delicious. Now, everybody who makes Ginataan, they make it, you know, their own style and way. And this recipe is no different. Like if you Google Ginataan recipes, there's so many and they're all a little bit different because everybody has their own spin on it. And my mom has her own spin on Ginataan as well. And after having my mom's and growing up with it, and I just love it so much, when I go to a Filipino market or a Filipino store or restaurant and I get their Ginataan, I'm like, this ain't Ginataan. This is a little bit different. Some like to put make it look more like a rice pudding of sorts. I don't like that. That's not how I do mine. Okay, 1 purple potato, peeled, cut up, put into the pot. Next, we're gonna take what's called a cassava. So again, you wanna get this at the Asian market. That's where you'll find this. And I just cut off the ends, and you are going to peel this and do the same thing we did with the purple potato. You're gonna peel it and cut it into cubes. Here we go. Now that my cassava is peeled, we are going to chop it up. You know, the last time we did a video, it's been a couple years. Sophia was, I think, in elementary school. She is now in the 8th grade. She's a teenager. And I don't know if you remember, but when I used to make these videos a couple years ago, the minute I turned on the camera, guess who comes running over? I don't know what she's doing now. You know what she's doing? She's playing Fortnite. That's what she's doing. She's too good now and too teenager-ish to come over and say hi to the audience. Sophia, get your butt over here and say hey. Come on. Let's do it. Get over here. You better get
Put the knife down. I actually need to win this.
There she is.
What do you want?
The audience wants to see what teenager Sophia looks like.
I'm mid-game and
She's mid-game and she's gonna die.
It's ranked, Mom.
She's gonna lose her rank.
I need to get the platinum.
You know, this kid.
If I don't get a platinum, I'm gonna tweet.
We don't care about platinum on Fortnite or your V-Bucks. Nobody cares about the V-Bucks.
I need V-Bucks.
Okay, so now that your cassava is all cut up, now what you're gonna do is you're gonna take Filipino cooking bananas, or you can even use plantains. You don't want to use regular bananas. You want the bananas from the Asian market. You want 2 of them. You're gonna peel it and cut them up. So that's what I did one already. You don't want to get regular bananas, okay? You want plantains or Filipino bananas. And you don't, these ones happen to be a little bit too ripe. If you could get them like just perfectly ripe or right before they get real ripe, that's how you want it. But I bought these ingredients a couple days ago. I should have made it then, but it's still gonna be good. So 2 Filipino bananas, or you can use some plantains. You're gonna put that in. And you notice we're throwing it all in the pot, right? You also are gonna take you can either use a jar or a can of Jackfruit. Yes, Sophia. She's over here staring at me.
No, because I wanted to let you know that I got platinum.
Yay! I don't know what that means. Platinum.
It's
Don't
a
you want
rank.
like gold?
Yeah, it's gold. It goes gold, then platinum. I'm trying to get unreal.
Okay, well, don't tell me about platinum. I want to hear about gold.
Mom, it's gold and then platinum. I am higher than gold.
Oh, she's higher. Okay.
But
Okay.
gold is weak.
No, audience doesn't care. So you open up a can or a jar of jackfruit, also at the Filipino market, and you just want to make sure that they're chopped up in big pieces. So like this one, sometimes you'll get it where they're really all put together, and sometimes you'll get them more like this. You just chop them up. They don't need to be super small, they don't need to be super big. You want just like bite-sized pieces. And then you just stick it in the pan, throw it in there. Once you chop it all up, the jackfruit, throw it in the pan. Next up, you're gonna put 2 cans of coconut milk, okay? One and 3/4 cup of water. And this is where the sweetness comes in. 1/2 cup of sugar. That's it. You put it all in, give it a nice little stir, and then you're gonna bring this to a boil. That's what it should look like before it starts. So we just dumped it all in, we stirred it, and we put it on the stove, and now we want it to boil. While we're waiting for the mixture to boil, we are going to make what's called Mochiko balls. So at the Asian market, you want to buy this. It's called Mochiko. It is a sweet rice flour. And this is the one I always get right here. There you go. All the Asian markets have it. I think some of the regular stores have this too. But just in case you're already at the Asian market and get all the other ingredients, pick yourself up a box of this. So you're gonna put in a bowl 1 cup of water and 1 3/4 cup of the Mochiko sweet rice flour mix. If we can open it. Yeah! All right, we want 1 3/4 cup. Yep. Okay, now we're just going to mix the water and the Mochiko mix. We're just stirring it. It's gonna make like a, kind of like a paste. Now that your Mochiko is mixed and it's like a little paste, you want to put some water in another pot and boil it, bring it up. While your water is boiling, you want to make what's little balls out of the Mochiko mix. And if you need to add water to the mix, you've got some water here if it's too dry. Now, I know this is gonna sound funny. I like small balls. My sister likes big balls. So, you hear Sophia giggling over there? I don't know how else to say it. I want my Mochiko balls to be smaller. And so I make little balls like that. My sister, Mikey and Jen, they prefer big balls, big Mochiko balls. And so they prefer theirs to see, you see, I would even like mine to be a little bit smaller, but, and I just want you to know, behind the camera, Sophia is dying on the floor. She's at the teenage years where you can't say balls and nuts and whatever, because it's like when they're 3 and you say poop and they all start laughing or fart. Okay, well now we've elevated it to balls, nuts, you know, teenagers. So you could either, if you want them to be nice and pretty, you can roll your balls. My mom would always roll it. But you know what? This takes a long time. So you know what I just want to do is I just want to make these big balls, and then I'm just gonna poke a little bit off, and then what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna put it all in the boiling water when it's boiled. Okay, so now that the pot of water is at a low boil, you can take your mochi, and remember I like mine small, so I'm gonna put small drops, and you're just gonna pop them in here, and they will be done when they float. So you just take a bunch, start plopping them in. If you want to be all fancy like my mom, you can make little balls. Otherwise, we're just putting them in. This is what it ends up looking like. But when they start to float like that, that's when you know that they're ready. So now that the mochi balls are floating to the top, they are ready. And so you take a strainer, strain it out, plop them in. Now the reason I don't fully strain the mochi balls away from all the water and dump the water is because I may need the water. So I'm gonna show you when it's done. You know when it's done when you have one of the potatoes and your fork just goes through it just like that. It was so easy. You know that it's done. But the consistency you want is a little bit thick. So if that means I have to add the water from the Mochiko balls, you can do that and it will thicken it because it's the starchy water. All right, y'all, I think it's done. Let's try it out. Let's eat it. The sauce, I got some of the purple potato. I have some of the mochi balls, but it's very hot, so careful. It's hot. It's good. So good. Make it, love it, try it. Happy New Year, y'all.